Hello my fellow gladiators, spectators, and warriors. It has been a whole week and a half off of the gym. We're getting back from being sick. It looks like we're weighing in at something like 89.3 kilograms, which means we've lost a bit of weight, of course. Fluctuations from sickness. Hopefully we can regain this back. But welcome to another episode of Resurrecting Hercules. So before I start my upper body days, especially chest days, I always hang from the bar just because it gets a really good stretch in my chest, really good stretch in my lats and all the little muscles that are involved. That way I can get myself out of like a tightened position. But there is one very unique and important thing to do while you're hanging, because mostly you want to just let everything loose, but the one thing you do want to do is you want to keep your hips tucked by sucking in your stomach and activating your abs a little bit, and this will take you out of an anterior pelvic tilt. And when you're in an anterior pelvic tilt, you are completely taking your chest out of the stretch. When you pull that back in, you'll feel it. You'll feel your chest starting to stretch a little bit more. If you have a lot of tight shoulder problems, you have a lot of impingements and stuff, try doing this for, I'd say like 3 sets of at least 30 seconds before your upper body days. For me, it helps a lot. I always try to vary the exercises that I do, especially when I go to different gyms because they have different machines and equipment and stuff. For me, doing this unilateral press instead of doing both at the same time really takes out the impingement. Like I don't even feel it at all. It's a really good way to isolate my upper chest, which is really nice. I'm trying to place my shoulder in a position that allows my shoulder blade to move freely, but I'm pushing off the column of the middle of my back, the erector spinae, to actually press off. As I'm coming to the top of the movement, I'm thinking about twisting my hand, even though I can't actually do that. In this way, I'm externally rotating and getting my elbow closer to my torso as I come up to the top, and then slightly letting that go a little bit more internal as I come to the bottom. The whole time though, I am trying to think about keeping my elbow externally rotating as I'm doing that. A lot of times when I do unilateral exercises, I'm able to really feel out that muscle individually, especially since both my sides are slightly different just because of the scoliosis I have. Once I'm able to activate those muscles properly, then when I try to utilize them in a bilateral movement, I'm able to really be able to find what it's supposed to feel like when that muscle is in the right position and flexing in the right way. So a lot of time by doing isolations or doing unilateral exercises, it makes it easier for me to do the compounds that I sometimes have trouble with staying out of impingement. So that might be a tip that you might want to utilize as well. So you may have seen me do this exercise before. This is called a barbell floor press, and the reason that I like to do this one is because it trains that top portion of the movement of a barbell bench press. And if you have issues with barbell bench press, this is a great way to segment just one portion to work on so that you can really get the form correct and keep yourself out of impingement while doing this. It's a little bit of weird form because your elbows obviously can only go a certain length down, so you really have to think about where you're positioning yourself. 2 things I try to think about while doing this is, 1, I like to keep my arms completely straight and then let them seat down before I actually start doing the pressing movement, because when your shoulders are extended out forward and then you start the bench pressing, you're going to be impinged. So with my arms completely straightened, I like to let the weight come all the way down, put my shoulder blades on the ground, then I start the actual elbow bending and doing the tricep extension. The other thing that I'm trying to think about, which I don't do perfectly, I'm still trying to work this into my mind while I'm doing exercises, is that while I'm pressing, I am trying to keep my rib tips down by trying to brace my core and trying to suck in my stomach using my transverse abdominis. It's a little bit harder than it seems because you always kind of want to just keep your rib cage up when you're doing these presses because it's a little easier. But when you can keep those ribs down, it gives your shoulder a lot more of a chance to be out of impingement. Also, this is a really good exercise because I'm about to go hit triceps after this. This is kind of like a hybrid between chest and triceps. A good way to end chest and a good way to start triceps. Oh man, it feels so good to be back at the gym. I feel like I haven't been able to go to the gym for like 2 years. I know it was like a week and a half, but seriously, it just felt so terrible laying there day in, day out. And when I would get up, I felt like I had no energy, so I just wanted to go sit down. I'd sit down and I wanted to go get up and work out. It was terrible. Anyways though, I'm finally back to it. This is my 4th workout back. So I'm gonna hit a workout with legs. I do still have a bit of a cold. You can hear that, it's actually pretty heavy. But in terms of the flu and the dizziness and all that kind of stuff, that is gone. I have been hitting heavy workouts, in the last couple days, so I'm excited to see what I can do with legs. I am having to backtrack a little bit. I'm not gonna be able to use super heavy weights quite yet because I have to retrain my thought process from that week that I was off. We're gonna hit some squats today, do some leg work. I'm gonna show you guys what I do. Hey, look at that new camera though. Does that look pretty in it?
Look at you doing cardio. You know.
Oh, good man.
Same old, same old.
Wish me luck for my leg day.
You got it.
All right, so first set of squats. Feels pretty good, actually. I was really expecting to be a lot harder. I am very much so out of breath, probably twice as out of breath as I usually would be with this, because I've been able to do this for 5 reps. Only one of them felt kind of loose. So I'm gonna do another set with 185. This time I'm gonna do a little bit slow motion. That way I can kind of analyze where my hips and my knees are during this movement. But right now it looks like my shins and my back are at a similar angle, which is what we're looking for.
Dude, it's so cool seeing you squat. I was like literally on the stair climber, like looking at you just like smiling.
Oh man,
because I know how long, if you guys are watching this and you've been following him for a long time, when we first met, he used to squat like that. And then, it's been like 2.5 years?
Yeah.
That he hasn't squatted. So I was like literally just like a proud parent, like, oh my God.
I know, right? You seen me in the front squat?
Dude, yeah.
Little baby weight, that's still pretty good.
No, it doesn't matter, dude. It's so cool.
Tell me, what's your theory on cardio? Why are you
okay, so that's actually funny. I was going to talk about that in my video. But the reason, so right now I'm not trying to cut a bunch of weight. Like, that's not my goal. My goal is to stay as strong as I can. While I'm not trying to like bulk up a bunch, but I'm not trying to lose a bunch. But for me, cardio is just to improve my quality of my life. And then, especially because, you know, the CrossFit style training that I do, the better you are at cardio, the better you're doing workouts, the faster you're able to get through workouts. But honestly, it makes me feel good. So I like to do cardio after my workout, just because 30 minutes after makes, like, the start of the day, you know, it's pretty early in the morning still. The rest of the day just feels better.
Like a breathe.
Yeah.
Obese to Beast fitness and life tips. I just got myself a shoe delivery. I'm really excited because I've been waiting for these new shoes. I need some new ones. These ones are getting pretty damn worn out. So I'm pretty excited because these just came in. These are the Anis. You guys see me wear these pretty often. This is by far my favorite shoe. If you guys are ever looking for a shoe just to wear around, but also to wear at the gym, these are flat bottom, flat sole, which I really like. And this time, I got the black low tops instead of the white low tops. But as you can see, like, the bottom is completely the same height throughout the entire sole, which is really good for like deadlifting and squatting. If you guys are ever interested in checking these shoes out, the link and the code that donates a bit of your purchase to Mercy for Animals is always in the description of every single video. You just scroll down a little bit, click show more, and you'll find that link really easily. So it is back day. This is the second back day back from being sick. We are at LA Fitness. This is the gym that I've been working out at for probably like about 9 months of this year. They're shutting down in 3 days. So it's pretty awesome because there's nobody around us, there's nobody working here, and so we're able to film. So I'll show you guys some of the stuff. This exercise I really want to show you guys because it's an overhead exercise that I've been able to actually re-implement into my workouts, which is crazy because my shoulder has had a lot of trouble with overhead stuff. But the key point for me, a couple of things that I think about is, first, before I actually get into the lift, I like to use the handle and then try to stretch my lat out. When I find that stretch, that's where I start the movement from on both lats. And that helps me to make sure that I am getting in good position. The other thing I really think about is with the handles, I try to put pressure into my pinky by externally rotating my hands, supinating them towards me, even though they're stuck, so that in that way, I'm sort of like externally rotating my humerus as I'm going through the movement. This next exercise is not the most fun, but it is really, really useful. This is 2 things. Again, it's working the lower traps and getting those muscles engaged, but 2, it's training my mind to do the first part of the motion, which is like seating my shoulder back, then doing a pull. So I'll show you as we go, but you're gonna need a pulley system that has 2 different pulleys on 2 opposite sides of you. One of the things you wanna worry about too, try not to let your hands get limp while you're pulling it down like this. You wanna try to keep your hands straight. You wanna try to pause the bottom. I'm fatigued, so I'm already having a hard time with that. This is a lot harder than it looks. So we just did biceps, and I usually just choose between dumbbells or barbells. This time I did dumbbells. I did about 8 sets total with a mixture of alternating supinating curls and hammer curls. Now I'm doing some shoulders. Usually I do rear delts only on my back day. That feels good to be able to push something over my head until I fail, not until it hurts, until I fail. That's really fun. All right, first week back from sickness. So good to be lifting again, man. This is my second time through each workout, so I am actually finally getting my strength back. I'm getting my size back. That is freaking awesome, and it just sucks to be sick. Now you're probably wondering what's going on with my calories and all that kind of stuff. This last week, because I've been recovering through the sickness, has been just tons of soups, man. I've been eating soup like crazy. Tons of noodles, udon, ramen, yakisoba, all that kind of stuff, just because honestly, it's the easiest thing for me to get down when I am sick, and I would rather eat something than nothing. But that is causing me to have like this little bit of a transition back into regular whole foods dieting. So I'm having to push myself away from getting food and actually getting back into making food, which sometimes is a little bit of a difficult thing for me, but we're pretty much back there. We're about 80% there. So next week, it looks like I'll be going somewhere around 2,800 to 2,950 calories, really depending on how my energy is feeling and also how my weight is fluctuating when I start implementing that. This week has varied a ton, seriously, because I've been sick. Sometimes it's been like 24,500, sometimes it's been over that, 32,300. When it comes to sickness, I just try to get better. I don't really stress diet. Man, it does feel really good to be back in the gym though. I'm feeling like my muscles swole up again. I feel like I'm starting to fill out again. And as you can see in the video of my physique, we're definitely still losing fat, so we're definitely right on track, even though we had to deal with the sickness. So I'm really excited because I'll probably be dieting for the next 2 to 3 weeks now, just because I had that sick period. Then after that, we will reevaluate, look at how my body is looking, and decide what we're planning on doing, but we'll probably transition right back into it. That is it for this week. I just wanted to bring you guys along with me on this first week back from being sick, and also because my gym is closing and we got this new camera and stuff, I wanted to bring you with me through the actual workouts and show you a little bit of some personal tips that you guys can get some of the, advice and stuff that I've been using for myself. So my beautiful friends, that is the end of this episode, but another week comes and more gains come with it. Hopefully we have some very exciting things to show you in the next episode of Resurrecting Hercules.